Hey everybody, it's Tammy Langowski here with another Tammy's Channel Chats. Haven't done one for a while, so I have a list of really great questions from a client that I won't be doing all of them right in this particular video, but he's left me with some really wonderful questions. So thank you for that, and I'm going to address a couple of them right now in the time that we have. So for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm Tammy Langowski. I'm an intuitive advisor to your questions. I'm clairaudient, clairvoyant, and I give channeled readings to my clients. You know, people come to me with questions, and I kind of take a look at that intuitively for them. And if you're interested, you can get a hold of me through my website, tammysintuitive.com. I do have a contact form there. So thank you for that. Thank you for all who have subscribed to this channel. I greatly appreciate it. And I love having questions. You know, the questions that come in is something I can, pose to our guides and get a little response from them. So thank you so much for those who have been doing that. Okay, all right. So I'm seeing here a question about some really good ones here. They're all good. Kind of explain the various roles in the afterlife. So for instance, angels, spirits, guides, masters, souls, librarian, etc. Are the terms roles interchangeable? So I'm opening it to my guides already for that, have been. And so I'm going to pose that question, then guides to you. So, what about the roles? Let's say the roles, first of all, of an angel versus a spirit guide. Let's ask that question. Okay, first thing I'm hearing is your angels are always there with you, protecting you, watching over you. Okay, our job is to know what to do, speaking from an angel's perspective here, what to do in any given situation that calls our attention or asks us to be present and to help where needed. And if it's necessary to help, and if it is, allowed in a sense for them to come in. So we work as divine protectors of the kingdom, helpers, they're doers. I'm getting that. Angels are doers. They're really working on the planet. They could be working with animals. They could be working with the planet itself, individuals. Often what we hear of the divine intervention, that comes in, like, somebody survives an amazing, I say amazing, an accident that really is amazing that they survived, then often an angel might have something to do with that. If it was pre-approved, is what I'm getting from source, in a sense, that they are to that divine intervention, they are able to come in and help. So they work in many different ways like that. I feel like they help the spirit guides, inform them as well. It's almost like a counsel for spirit guides as well. So I'm going to go into the idea of spirit guides and, in a sense, their role. Many spirit guides have been friends of ours in other lifetimes. We have known them in many lifetimes. They are at a place at any particular time then. So I'll let my spirit guides kind of talk about that directly. So we've known Tammy before, is what I'm hearing, many lifetimes. We have chosen to come in this lifetime into her life as an energy form, a spirit guide, to help guide her and also counsel her, to bring forth information. Tammy's role often in this lifetime, one of her main purposes was to do just as she's doing. She didn't always do this until later on into her life. We were there all the time, giving her information, providing information, helping her, as all of our guides are. I'm saying that they are there to do that. And then there came a time when it was necessary for her to start opening up more to one of her purposes in this lifetime, to bring messages and to help other people with counsel from their spirit guides. So spirit guides in general, the role is to be with you, very close to you, closer to you than perhaps the role of an angel is. Even though our angels are very close to us and around us, we are sort of the forefront, the right, the ones right there helping. So the roles of a spirit guide is not to tell you what to do. We may advise you what to do. And we don't necessarily get involved in divine intervention. That's where they're going like this. This is where, you see my hand. That's where the lovely angels come in. You know, they're playing with that. And to help with that, if it's allowed, and if it's just supposed to happen, in a sense, if it's sort of agreed, there's an agreement maybe in this lifetime with the angels as well. So we do a lot of planning and helping, and they always like to tell me that, turning your head this way or that way. And you know what we mean by that, but just giving you the taps on the shoulder, like you might want to look over there, or think about that, or tapping other people to help them come in. Angels do work that way as well, if it makes sense for them to do that. Angels have a very big job. They are of the higher, I don't know what I call it, realm, vibration, whatever you want to call that, where they really have some really important, almost executives, important roles to oversee groups often, and things like that. Okay. Now I will say, I'm going to interject one time it was interesting. I was doing a meditation, and there was an angel. She told me she was an angel, came in. Her name was Roberta. She gave me the name Roberta. And she said, Tammy, she kind of had an accent. And she said, I just want to let you know that your plants need some watering in your office. And I was like, what? And she popped in very clearly. So I just wanted to let you know that they're in need of some watering. And I think I must have talked to her, because it's not like she came and said, hi, I'm Angel Roberta. But then she told me she was an angel. And then she told me her name. I was like, whoa, that was really neat for me. So sure enough, my plants did need watering. I'm usually very good at watering my plants, but I had not been there for a little while, I guess at my office or something. And so anyway, that was interesting. So they will come in, they will pop in and talk with us. Not saying that they don't. It's not just that they're leaving it all to our guides, but so I want to say to the interchangeable, yeah, I think in some ways their roles can be a bit interchangeable in that way. Communications there, I think if they really feel that they need to get something to you, then they might come in and do so. I wanted to see here some of the others that you mentioned here. Okay, masters. Yeah, masters, like the masters. Because often, when I just start a session, I always call in our guides, our spirit guides, masters, source, that kind of thing. So masters. So I'm being told we bring counsel. Masters are evolved spirit that have just mastered almost like the idea of being spirit guides. And they're of a higher order. I don't liken them to angels. Angels are very different vibration that I'm feeling. Masters are just, I'm seeing like the long white beard, the wise ones, that have a lot of, they're scholarly is what I almost look at. And they really do have a lot of wonderful information, because they have experience. And that's what I would almost say. They've been on the planet. They've been on the planet many, many times, and have learned a great deal about human interaction, or whatever interaction it might be, if it's other life forms and other planets. But they're very wise, and it's okay to call and ask them to help you. All those that are serving in spirit. Yeah, I use the word serving lightly, I guess, but you know what I mean by that. They want to help us, human beings on the planet, and they want to help us as souls, our souls, to help us, progress. So that's kind of the idea. All the while, of course, source is the glue, the unconditional love, that highest frequency that we are all, in a sense, I don't want to call it under, but just to put a perspective of that, it's all one, but just so we can maybe understand it from a human perspective, in a sense. So that's what masters really are. Will masters come in just to help out? Yes. Oh, yes. So they are available to speak with. You can just ask for even masters, maybe in a specific category that you might want to have more knowledge about. Even with our guides, we can do that. Spirit guides said, okay, guides, I need a good cook right now. to come in and help me with this question I've got. I mean, I know this seems mundane and silly, but I'm just saying, ones that have specialty in certain areas that did things here on the earth plane that they really enjoyed, right? Because let's face it, let's say this, top renowned chef in this lifetime is going to pass sometime, and maybe have many, many lifetimes, but at one time might decide to be a guide, a spirit guide. And so therefore there's a spirit guide out there, who has a lot of knowledge about cooking. So I'm just giving you an example. Could be about anything. Okay, so I hope that understands about the masters. Very, very wise, and been around the block. They have a lot of experience, so they're wonderful to tap into as well. Your guides, spirit guides that are with you, are very close to you. They love you. They've been with you at birth, since birth, and they just know you really well, like a good friend knows somebody, to guide you. That's why they'll sound very earthy to me. They are not earthbound. They have transition in of the light, but they might have that easy communication. That's why so many of them have such a sense of humor and things like that. Okay. And let me just see the rest of this question. So, souls, yeah, I want to touch on that. So your soul, remember I mentioned, or they mentioned about helping our soul, progress. So our soul is our ever, I'm getting ever essence. I've never heard them say that before, ever essence, that has been here for eternity, that is continuing to grow and learn and store the information. Our souls store the information from lifetimes upon lifetimes. When we go into another lifetime, we work on some of that bank that we have, that our soul knows about. Some of it will be privy to us. We'll be conscious of it. Much of it we will not. It depends on what we need to go further in what we're learning. So that's what I'm kind of getting about the soul. So I would say that yes, they can be the roles can be a bit interchangeable, as far as especially with the angels and the guides, masters too. I think, I don't know if interchangeable would be the word I would use in this case. It's just that they all may have some input. They all play a part maybe at times, depending what you're really needing. Remember, when it's an SOS, help, whether we put it out or maybe our soul is reaching out, then those angels really are showing up. So like the archangels, I love to work with and call in Archangel Michael in particular. I work a lot with him, and Archangel Raphael for my healings. And they too have those specific kind of roles that they sort of oversee, we know about them. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of what I'm getting with that. Guys, is there anything more that we want to say about that particular question? That is just all plays such an important part. Gosh, we're so loved. That's what I just got. I feel it. I heard it. You are so loved. That's like, wow, look at that team you have, That's why we never really ever want to forget that. And I know, we know the earth plane can be challenging at times for many of us, maybe some more than others, and in periods of times, and then not so much. And everything's, really easy and flowing. So it's important to know that help is there. Remember, I want to remind you again, our guides and angels love for us to interact with them, to talk with them, to ask them for the help. They will do whatever they are allowed, in a sense, to help with, and whatever makes sense for them. Of course, they like to see us getting out there and doing the work that we got to do to shift our awareness to certain ways of looking at things. And, sometimes they'll just say that. I mean, don't dwell on this, or, whatever it might be, because they're just kind of reminding us that we have so much of the power in how we look at things and what we set our intention on, that really does become so super important. So they're helping us along the way. They're not taking it all away for us. That's not their job to do. We come in here with the agreement that we're working on that, but we also know we have a team of helpers. We know that before we're coming into a lifetime. So get busy, having a conversation with them and shouting out to them, loving them, letting them know that you know that they're there. They've always been there. They will be there. They're here presently with you. They will be there when you transition as well. Lots of embracing, I just heard. Love that. When it's our time to transition again. Lots of reunions, as we know, reunions with loved ones and with spirit and our angels and source and our, our masters, right? That were very popular here on the earth plane. The ones that we aligned with and are just curious about. We'll all meet up again on that. So anyway, I think I'm going to leave it with that for this one. Really great question. Thank you again. I look forward to doing some more upcoming ones here. So stay tuned. And if you have subscribed, make sure you're hitting your notification. That way you'll know when a new one pops up, and would love your subscribes if you haven't subscribed yet, and share if any of these make sense to you and that you just want to share the message for others. So greatly appreciative of all of you, and sending lots of wonderful blessings and light to you, and have a fabulous day. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.